Hey, what is up? Anime Autistic here, and I'm coming with you guys for another video. A couple of days ago, I was thinking, should I rewatch Kuriko's Basketball for, I think it's the third time? And that got me to think also, something that I've believed since the show came out, that Kuriko is a super underrated anime. It's one of my favorites. I love it to death. Just me thinking of Kuriko being underrated, I just started thinking just in general, sports anime are just not that appreciated. They're not, they weren't there's a lot of people that love anime or say they love anime and haven't seen a single sports anime, don't really want to see a sports anime, say they aren't interested. In my opinion, that's weird. I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me. So I wrote something out, and I was like, you know what? Here's the reasons why people should watch sports anime. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna record that. Come to find, this morning, as I'm recording this, Digibro posted a video of him just basically listing off all these different anime, what they are, all sports anime, just saying stop sleeping on sports anime. He seemed steamed for some reason about people loving Haikyuu, and I mean, Haikyuu's not my favorite. It's probably my third favorite sports anime, and I've seen a decent amount. I haven't seen hundreds. Well, definitely not hundreds. That'd be a lot. But I've seen a good amount of sports anime, and the good ones are good. And there's something that everybody should check out. So a lot of people won't give sports anime a chance, and a lot of them, their argument is, I'm not really that into sports. In my day-to-day life, I don't really follow any sports. I'm not into basketball, baseball, soccer, football, hockey, etc. And to that, I have to say, okay, what's your point? A lot of people that aren't into boxing have watched Rocky, right? People also like, I don't know, Rudy, Coach Carter, Remember the Titans, The Fighter. So you're telling me that all those people that watched all those movies are really into football, basketball, boxing. Are they? No, they're not. The reason they like those movies is because they're good movies that, yes, are that the football, basketball, boxing, it is an essential part of the movie. But it's not what defines the movie, not even in the slightest. So in that point, watching sports anime is not like watching sports. People always, I hear that too. Why wouldn't I just watch real sports? Well, because you don't get a lot of things from that. And you can. You're more than welcome to watch real sports. I personally, not a big fan of soccer, not a big fan of baseball, but you know what? Big Windup's pretty good. I'm not even interested in rugby, but I am very interested in watching All Out, which is a rugby anime. That looks like a fun show. I am not particularly interested in swimming. I enjoyed Free. It's very fun, very pretty, looks great. So here's what you don't get when you say things like, oh, well, why not just watch actual sports? Here's the things that you don't get from actual sports. You don't get the inner monologue. You don't get the conversation between teammate to teammate, competitor to competitor. There's comments from more than just, the sports reporter or, the colorman, the commentators. You get it from the coaches, the people on the bench, those in the crowd. There's comments from all these different sources that are informing you, the audience, of what's going on and the relevance of it. There's flashbacks to a character's backstory, which makes you invested in that character. That happens a good amount of times in Haikyuu. That happens a pretty good amount of time in Kuriko's Basketball as well. It happens all through anime. Are you gonna ever have a flashback in the middle of a tennis game? I don't think so. that's going to be impactful to that person that's playing, and you're like, yes, win. I want you to win. That's not going to happen. You're just investing in that person. And I understand people being invested in sports teams. Makes sense. I get it. Me personally, I'm not invested in any sports teams because to me that's dumb. I don't know. But yeah, I root for the hell for Ippo and Hajime no Ippo. Big time root for the players in Kirko's basketball. Every time they do something awesome, I would jump out of my chair. I'd be excited. Just cinematically, you don't get the interesting camera angles. You don't get the dynamic animation that a lot of times can be breathtaking. You don't get the sweeping shots. You don't get the cool fast action, the cool close-ups, all those things. The slow motion, just boom dunking or boom big hit. All those things. It doesn't really happen that way. You don't get it in a cinematic way the way you do in an anime. Same thing as in a movie. So I just don't. That's where I say comparisons between that and real life just shouldn't exist. That's like me saying, I'm not a scientist, so why would I like Full Metal Alchemist or Dr. Stone as well? Because me myself, I'm not a professional scientist, even though I do like science. Science is cool. I don't know how to swing a sword. Does that mean I shouldn't like Bleach? In sports anime, you usually get a big cast of characters, and each one of those characters has their own motivations, their reasons that they want to win, what drives them, what pushes them forward. And that makes so much of the story. That's such an important part to the story, especially for like the main character. But in a lot of the side characters, the opponents, everybody, it tells a story more than just this team's on a 3-win streak. Good for them. Now there is plenty of, storytelling within sports, etc. But you have to follow that so closely. This is not the same. You don't have to actively seek it out. You just watch the show. You get to watch the show, get the story, and consume it. And a lot of these stories have a lot of impact. They hit hard. These are all explored in the good sports anime, and you root for the characters because of that. You bond with the team. You see them train, you see them practice, you see them fail, you see them win, you see them fight with all they've got, and it means something. You get invested in them because of that, and you want to see them grow. They have character interaction between each other, the dialogue, the relationships between them, all that interaction, all that development, and it builds up, and it builds to something, and you get that from the story. You don't get that at all from sports in real life or anything like that. The relationship. I'll use Creed as an example. I really liked Creed. I thought that was a very good movie. Ryan Coogler did a good job on that movie. You don't really get if I were just going into a boxing match, am I going to get the relationship between the coach and the boxer? Not really. There's a lot of boxing matches, and I casually watch boxing when I'm at the gym. Sometimes it's on, and I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this for sure, because I do find boxing to be an interesting sport. But it's not like I understand the dynamic between the coach and the boxer at all. But in Creed, you get it, and Creed makes sense. And you look at Creed, also, not really all the focus was on the sport. A lot of it was, but a lot of it's on him, on Michael B. Jordan's character. All these characters, they have lives outside of their athletic achievements. They've got more than just those endeavors that are they're driving towards. They have different interests. They have different. They are living their own story, and it's not just what's going on the field or inside the ring or on the court. They have their own personal journey that they are going through, and you get to see that. We don't really get to see that, and I mean, I don't know what's really going on with LeBron James, and he's one of the biggest sports stars in the world. You kind of get what he's about, things that he's doing, but That doesn't tell me a story. And me, I like a story. And I'm sure if you want to watch something, you want a story. This is you providing you with those cool, fun things from the sport, and with this narrative, with this story that has meaning and purpose behind it as well. And that's on a whole nother level, guys. Many of these people, they got jobs, they have family, they have friends, they have responsibilities, they have trauma, they have turmoil. All of these things that have shaped them, these things that drive them, all of that they want to do better for, they want to achieve for, all of that stuff is wrapped inside of this story. All of it is important, and you get it succinctly. Not, yeah, I can know some stuff about Steph Curry. Yeah, I can know some stuff about Tony Romo. It's not the same in the slightest. Here's a great example of how it's not really all that much about the sport. Or it's not really, the prime focus is not on the sport, but it's on the individual. In Hajime no Ippo, which is a classic anime and still flies under the radar because it's a sports anime, his mom overworks herself and she gets sick. Ippo has to step in and run the family business while his mom's sick, and it puts his career in great jeopardy, and he really doesn't think that he's gonna box anymore. He's like, well, it was a good run, it was a good chance, but me, I have to do this for my mom. That episode where he's dealing with all of this, and then he eventually does get some help. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's also it's also like an 18-year-old anime, so and this is just one episode. There's 120 something episodes of Hajime no Ippo, and that episode is probably one of my absolute favorite episodes of the series. And it's not focused at boxing at all, is it? I mean, you could replace boxing with anything. He has to give up who knows what it is. His art career, his music career, whatever it is. And it's still a good episode. Outside of the boxing, you get that story. You get the emotional connection. You get some of the sacrifices these people have to make for their sport, for their art, for whatever it is. It's no different than a lot of these shows where it's about a love story or it's about an art project or all these different shows. It's no different at all, except the premise of it is that it's focused on sports, on them achieving through sports, which really gives you a human element level to it. And so we root for these characters. We get excited when they get steps closer to their goal. We feel a little bit crushed with them when they don't achieve what they want to do. Which, happens in real sports. And you could say, oh, I don't feel that about actual sports. Me neither. I don't give a damn who wins the Super Bowl. I don't give I don't care who wins the NBA playoffs, the MLB. I don't care about really hockey at all, but I'd watch a hockey anime if it was done real well. No problem with that. Do people really... You're telling me the people that watched Yuri on Ice were super invested in it because of the skating? No! Not at all! And then so from these stories, we can learn things about the human condition, things about discipline, teamwork, motivation, skill, hard work, talent, building yourself up, self-confidence, self-respect, respect for others, all those different things. They're all wrapped in, and those are in all of the good sports anime. That is a key part of all these, and you see it interplay. Like, how are you not into that? Is that not something that you want to see? You don't want to see anything that I discussed so far. All of that sounds like trash to you. Stupid, boring, all of it. And then that's just with what separates it from actually watching sports. And then there's just the basic, it being a television show, which is inherently telling you this narrative, like I said, this story with purpose, with meaning. There's decisions made, and you're along for the ride. A lot of these are starting off almost square one. Some of them not, but some of them it's kind of starting off almost square one, and you're seeing the development in them build and get better, and for something that they love. It's really not different than a lot of other shows out there. Like, and arguably, I'd say it's done way better than a lot of shows out there. The only other show out there that I think I can do it to a few, but I'll compare it to another totally slept on show, which isn't a sports anime, is Carol and Tuesday, which is a story about these girls who are seeking their dream in a music career. And it's really not that different. That show focuses on the music, but that's not fully what the show is about. It's not fully about, oh yeah, I really, why not just see a concert? It's a stupid comparison. Why not, I really want to watch people in a room write music. Of course not. That's not what the show's about. It's about the journey, the progression of the character. And so, any excuse, any reason saying, oh, I don't want to watch it, this is why you should watch it. It's not because it's sports. Watch it for all the other reasons. You can even, the sports is going to be a big part of it, especially in shows like Haikyuu and shows like Kuroko's Basketball. But still, you're telling me that you're not interested in that kind of story at all? A lot of those stories are so much better than the trash that you can watch. So, that's my defense of sports anime. So please watch it. There's so many good shows out there. Go watch Digibro's video. He's got a big list of all these different ones that you could watch. Me, I would definitely suggest Kuroko's Basketball and Hajime no Ippo. I love those shows. And there's a lot of good ones too. There's Megalobox, there's Slam Dunk, Haikyuu, Free, Big Wind Up, there's and there's plenty of others, but those are the ones that I personally like. There's a few that I checked out and I didn't like all that much. Habanero, I believe is how you pronounce it. That's one about badminton. I'm not interested in badminton, but it's one amazingly animated. It looks beautiful. Some of the best animation I've seen. And it's got some good characters to it. If anything, just watch it to have some fun. The world's not at stake. Some of them might make you cry, though. I'm just saying, guys, check it out. Thank you so much for going through this whole video with me, for listening to me go on this almost tirade of this stuff. If you have a friend that refuses to watch sports anime, but you're definitely into it, you share this video with them, and they'll be just so you can be like, yo, see, other people are saying it too. But so many people they want to make excuses because they think it's not up their alley, when so many things you could say that's not up my alley. And I don't like Mexican food. You haven't had good Mexican food. That's what that tells me. Same thing with the sports anime. So leave a like, subscribe for more stuff. I'm going to be posting more things. I'm going to be trying to do an introspective look on shows and anime and even some movies and stuff to try to break it down and just talk about things that I like, things that I'm grooving with, things that I thought are done well, or things that could be improved in these. So, thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.